Single Malt Whisky Club, and for this stinking hot Brisbane February, we are stoked to bring a solid gold selection of whiskies to our members this month. Our malt of the month is from none other than double gold medalist at the recent World Whiskies Awards just a couple of weeks ago now. This is their first expression since absolutely cleaning up. It's the Amber Lane Single Malt Whisky Club collab. Our optional extra for February was also distilled by a World Whiskies Award gold medalist distillery from last year, Old Kempton. The distillation is Tasmanian, but the maturation by Snowy Mountain Spirits is the highest in Australia in the New South Wales Snowy Mountains. Now, Amber Lane Distillery just cleaned up at the recent World Whiskies Awards. They not only won 2 golds and a silver for their matured whiskies, they also claimed a silver for their pure amber, unmatured spirit. What this clearly shows is excellence in production right throughout the whole process of whisky making. Not only is their wood selection and maturation fantastic, but their base spirit itself is world-beating. So, the Amber Lane style of whiskey is very much malt forward. They are looking to highlight flavours from the barley itself in their whiskey. To this end, they're very selective of the wood they use to mature their lovingly crafted spirit. They exclusively use older, large capacity casks for their maturation. There's no 50-litre barrels in this bond store, let me tell you. So they're not looking for massive past life influences from the wood. Rather, they're looking for wood that will temper and refine their spirit without compromising that malt forward flavour profile that they aim for. So they're out to augment the malty goodness of their new make without overpowering it. Maturation rather than saturation is the name of the game here. But don't get me wrong, there's plenty of fruity notes and other influences from the casks, but these really sit around that malty core rather than being the featured notes. So, the Amber Lane Single Malt Whisky Club is a blend from 4 large casks. One is a 30-year-old 250-litre Oloroso cask from Fernando de Castilla, a legendary Spanish bodega. There's a Spanish Pedro Jimenez, there's an Aussie Apera, and a Heaven Hill bourbon cask. They've all been marrying for around a month in the Spanish Oloroso cask before being brought down to 50% for bottling. There it is. Beautiful colour. So how does it taste? The nose. Oh, did I mention it was hot? It's stinking in Brisbane. Whew. The nose. Oh, it's such an enticing and complex nose. It's a distinct malty core, but wrapped with a real tempting fruity sweetness. I reckon there's also some green olives and faint leather notes there as well. On the palate. On the palate, luscious, mouth-coating oiliness. It's very syrupy indeed. It's a brief flash of white pepper burst, which precedes a juicy fruit chewing gum notes, vanilla, honey, and chocolate, with sweet vanilla malty biscuits. What were they? Malto milks, I believe they were called, to round it all out. The finish. Oh, it's long. It's chewy. It's thoroughly delicious with big ginger notes, chocolate espresso coffee, and freshly cut vanilla pods. And is that some allspice in there maybe too? It's all in a big milk arrowroot embrace, really. It's big, fruity vanilla goodness with a heart of pure malt. It's a big, complex and rewarding whiskey that really wants you to sift through its many flavours and tones and notes. And I'm just so enamoured with the way the malt pushes through those lovely fruit notes. Oh, it's so good. Now, onto our optional extra. So, Mark Newton is a man who enjoys doing things a little differently, I guess. Not only does he independently mature and bottle whiskey in Australia's highest location, he brings the new make all the way from Tassie to do it. His Snowy Mountain Spirits indie bottling brand is a tiny affair that really is starting to turn heads. This month's extra, the Snowy Mountains Tawny, is matured from base spirit from none other than 2021 World Whiskies Awards Best Small Batch Single Malt Gold Medalist, Old Kempton Distillery. There are only 93 bottles of this in existence. Well, there's 92 now. This is a super small batch indie bottling of one of Tassie's finest distilleries by a bloody nice fella who's going to do it his way or be damned. So, how does it taste? Ding! There it is, on the nose. On the nose, lots of sweet spices up front for me. Cloves, allspice and cinnamon, over dried fruit and tinned apricot nectar, I reckon. On the palate, it's a lovely viscous mouthfeel. It's almost liqueur-like. And that initial burst of pepper, but all the big stewed fruit comes right through like a wave. The finish, it's warm, chewy, it's lush, and it's lingering. It's coffee and dark chocolate, sweet spiced fruit mints. There's just that perfect amount of cheek pinching citrus-like astringency. This is a small, and let's face it, it's a high price package, but it won't disappoint once you taste it. The Tassie distillation Snowy Mountain maturation makes it kind of hard to put a flag on, but I do know it's a fantastic example of a tawny matured whiskey. It's nicely warming, it's big and round and sweet, but with a lovely dry back edge that makes you pour just one more dram, and okay, maybe just one more after that. So that's February, the Single Malt Whisky Club. A collaboration with the current World Whiskies Awards Small Batch Single Malt Champion, plus an indie bottling of last year's gold medalist for the same category. Matured at Australia's highest whisky producing altitude of 1,200 metres. Grab either of these and you won't be disappointed until it runs out anyway. Grab both and you'll be happy for twice as long. It's good maths. Until next month, I'm Brad Wright. Sledge apart.